Hello, good evening. Welcome. My name is Kwabena. Welcome. Today is another day, and I want to share with you. That's your engineering degree worth it? That's that engineering degree that you have. That's worth it. Africa is at a stage that we need a lot of technical expertise, engineering, technology, mathematics, science. You know, we need a lot of those. But at the same time, if I look at my friends, my classmates, those that we did engineering with, after all these years, and we look at how and where they are practicing and the professions that they have taken and all of us have taken, I tend to ask myself, does it really worth it, or did it worth it for people to go through all this kind of engineering, from civil engineering to electrical engineering, geodetic, all those engineering courses that we did. Does it worth it? Because if you look now, most of our friends are in the bank. Some of them are abroad doing all kind of things there. I dare say that we not get more than 10% who are practicing as in engineering fields. I dare say. I don't know. I don't have the statistics, but I dare say. And I think most of us were also doing these engineering courses to think that maybe you will come out and create and produce, and work in an engineering firm with some pride, like the way they when you are giving that course in the university, the pride that you had in school. After a while, you see that maybe we should think twice about some of these things. So, does it worth it? Does it worth it at all? I think that they should let us know that if they program you purely to be an engineer, they should also let you understand that you will need a system to work within. You need an infrastructure to work within. Most engineers cannot work by themselves. For instance, if you went to study, let's say, road construction, how many people need road? It's the government which will need road, or some major institutions that will need road. And you cannot even jump, all by yourself as an engineer to go and construct road for who? And if you look at our industry, if you look at whether it's manufacturing, or construction, or most of these places that they employ engineers, most engineers are there as plant engineers or as maintenance engineers. Most of them don't even know what to design. They have never thought of designing any product, never thought of maybe manufacturing anything, whether it's a product or process. And yet we push a lot of these young people go to the universities, go to tech, or go to any other place that they're doing engineering. Look at the confidence that we give them. And after a while, you see that they come out, they start to find their way out. And so does it worth it at all? Does it worth it? I think that the engineering courses that should worth it should be the courses that are in very high demand. There are engineering courses that nobody will call you. You have to go and look for a job. And when you go, most of the job that they are giving you, they don't even need you to be that much technical. So if you are going to use it to get a job, you should at least look at the one that has the demand. You should not just go and do something that nobody wants to pay you, because there are a lot of engineering students that nobody needs. They are there. We are producing so many of them. Yes, some few departments, some few organizations may need one or two, but not in high demand, not in high volumes like that. Like the rate at which that we are producing these engineers and the rate at which that they are being absorbed, you can see that they don't match. They're producing more, and yet few of our businesses, few of our industries really are in a stage where they can employ an engineer and possibly turn him into somebody more than just a maintenance engineer or just a sales, machine part engineer sitting somewhere and writing machine parts and feeding the maybe the maintenance or the repairs or something. Most of us, all the rigorous training that we went through may not necessarily have worth it that much. Africa is in need of this, obviously, but I'm not sure our economy, our industry is really ready for a lot of these engineers that we are producing. I did first degree engineering and I did second degree engineering. I remember when we were in school and I was doing internship. I went to those places that we were doing the internship, and when I look at the people who were before me, I I felt very much miserable. It was that much depressing for me, I would say, because I look at them and I didn't want to be like them. Because what were they doing? They were just maintaining and cleaning some engines. That's all. They were not doing much. It was not maybe a big manufacturing plant that they were, this is just, government agency, department that they had some machines packed there, maybe some tractors, some combine harvesters, some machines there, and they were repairing old pickups. They would remove this engine and overhaul it. Those are the things that we saw. And if you're a young man and you go to see some of these things, you'll be very much discouraged. So look at your engineering degree. Where I think it may worth it is, for instance, if you happen to enter, business or private, what they call private sector or entrepreneurship, your technical understanding will so much help your business. Because entrepreneurship for me favors people with technical background like science, like engineering, like technology, like mathematics more, because it's about production, it's about productivity, and all the streams about business. So if you have some business understanding and you add your engineering course to it, I think that you'll be better prepared than the others that will have to push themselves so much to understand technology or engineering processes or science, things that have to do with production and scientific formulas and things like that. So maybe if you find yourself with your passion in areas that you can really regiment your movement, then maybe your engineering background may worth it, may help you. But if you are just going to use it to get job, the industries are not really ready for the volumes that we are producing. It's unfortunate, but that is how it is. They just pushing you out there, and after national service, you may have to go and look for a bank job, or you may have to go and become a teacher somewhere. So, the enthusiasm, the joy, the confidence that you are using to do these engineering courses in this, when you're on campus, when you come out the first year, after the first year, go and look at all your mates. Not all the engineering courses, but even that, almost all of them, they still struggle, because where are they in if you pick civil, for instance, it's the Chinese that are doing the construction anyway. And if you pick electricals, whether it's power or whether it's electronics that they're doing, or telecommunications, something like that. How many telecommunication companies that we have? How many power companies that we have? So yet every year we are producing these guys. So where are they going? A lot of them will be pushed out of the country, and a lot of them would just have to fight their way somewhere. If you pick agricultural engineering, for example, where do they work? Where are they? I look at my mates and I can't find them. Some of them are lecturing, some of them are working in the bank, some of them, I don't know. So you can see that, yes, you were enthusiastic when you were in school, but now it's not that much fun, because you were thinking that you will come out, and maybe if you're really an engineer, you will go into design, you go into production, you will be you will enter into proper engineering where you're designing, you have a big factory that you're working with. Those things are not there. You'll be pushed into some old. I remember when I was doing national service, we were doing it in a wood factory. The plants that they were using, the machines that they were using, some 50, 100-year-old machines somewhere, whether it's the cutting machine or the planing, all those things. They were old. They were not inspiring. And so when I finished that internship, I had no desire to become a practicing engineer who will work in a factory and possibly even go into production or something like that. Where were the production companies? Maybe my background may have made me to think like this, but then I look around and I see that most of our mates are not practicing as engineers. So sometimes when they make statements that, what are engineers doing? The fact of the matter is that it takes more than an engineer to produce anything a mass. It takes more than an engineer. If you see the cars that the Toyota is not, it was not produced by an engineer, it was produced by a company which had the mechanisms and the systems and the processes to manage so many engineers. If you look at anything, whether it's the cell phone, whether it's the computer, anything that you're using, that came, from manufacturing or engineers. It was not just one engineer sitting somewhere. It was somebody who had more complex scale to bring all these elements of production into place. So if we don't have these things set up, then all the engineers that we are producing, they will not worth it. That's the fact. So you go to Barclays Bank, you are there. You go to Stanbic Bank, you are there. You go to Agricultural Development Bank, you are there. You produce them 4 years. Then after that, they have to just find a way of living. And I think that if you're going to find job like that, then why would you want to waste so much time going through all this pain, writing all these lab reports, just to come out and become a bank clerk? So does it worth it? I don't know whether it's worth it or not, because at this moment we are producing a lot of them and we don't have any use for them. It's a sad situation. It's a developing country that we must have need for them, which we should, but we don't. So at the personal level, at the individual graduate level, when you come out, first year, second year, third year, you will feel like after school, after national service, you will tell yourself that did it worth it? I've had my friends say that, didn't we go to waste our time doing all this nonsense in the university, studying what we were so much optimistic of, that when we come out, we were going to be, even if you go to any industry, any business, look at the opportunities that are open to engineers. Minimum is, department manager. That's all. When it comes to the top positions, they don't even give it to the engineers. Engineers in Ghana are chew and poor. Look at the kind of schedule works. No, 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 no. They qualify as any other group. What is lacking is the industry to give us the proper field training. We don't have that. I don't think that the university training that we get here is so much deviating. It doesn't deviate so much from any other place. They all go through the same formulas that they teach, the same practicals that they teach. They may be a bit more ahead in terms of technology, but I think that if you push any engineer from anywhere, you put him in any industry, in any country, you give him 2-year training in the factory, he will do a fantastic job. So our engineers, I think, yes, we need to up their game, but the industries are not there. Even the most obvious ones, like civil engineering. Look at how many construction companies that we have that are really, most of our civil engineers are even consultants in a classroom drawing. Why? Because most of the major projects are being managed by foreigners. Is that it? Look at any major construction that is going on in a country. Go and look at it. There is a white man, there's a Chinese man, there is an Indian man somewhere. We don't even trust in ourselves that our people can do good work. So it's a complex situation. And you training as an engineer, these are the realities that you're going to see. You have to know that in the engineering degree, sometimes will make you feel that much disappointing. You'll be that much disappointed. You feel like, why did I have to go through this? I did the first one as engineering degree, and at the second degree as engineering degree. I didn't even know why I was doing that. I just had to do it. I happened to, enter into something that I think the engineering is helping. Technical mind is helping when it comes to the things that we do. It helps. You're able to break some things down. You're able to manage projects. You're able to put your numbers together. You're able to build systems, processes. You understand it. Not directly as maybe a process engineer working in a big factory, but I think it has helped. in terms of entrepreneurship. But if you are going to look for employment, the kind of training that we get as engineers, you will need a whole infrastructure set up properly. You will need a whole factory, like the way they are trying to do one district, one factory. If they will absorb a lot of these guys coming out, a lot of these guys that we have pushed everywhere. You go to most secondary schools, the people who are teaching physics, chemistry, maths, the engineers. The engineers. I don't think that we should have that number of engineers teaching in secondary school. They should be working in factories, but where are the factories? So you feel frustrated. So you really have to have the heart for it to probably even push yourself together. And if you are going to set your own company as an engineer, as an engineering firm, doing some production, not just drawings, not just consultancy, because all that they do is consultancy. You do the consultancy, somebody should go to the field to work. We need engineers who can produce proper. That one, you may have to go through a lot of rigorous training and a lot of mental re-engineering for you to set up a company, ground up, to be able to produce anything. If you're electrical engineer, you want to set up a company to produce, let's say, mobile phone, you need far more than just being an electrical engineer. If you're agricultural engineer, you want to set up a company to produce, let's say, bulldozer or maybe popcorn machine, you will need a lot far more than the 4-year degree course that they gave you. So does it worth it? I don't know. Most people will be disappointed with their engineering degree. Very few people will be that much glad. Go and do the statistics. After 4 or 5 years, you look back and you have degree, but you don't have any direct skill that can produce anything, because you did not have the opportunity to enter into an industry that you'll be giving underground field training, so that you'll be able to produce maybe a machine part, you'll be able to assemble maybe an engine, you'll be able to do something, maybe draw, or even sometimes civil engineers. We have employed engineers right from school after national service. You give the drawing to, you give him the project, civil engineer, give him the drawing, give him the project. You send him to the field and he's shaking. He has no idea. He can do the calculation, but he has no idea what to do. You have to put him under somebody who has been on the field for years. Then he starts to learn. After 5 years, if he's consistent, if he's sharp, if he really wants to practice as a civil engineer, you see that he will pick. Because he has the basis right. But the thing is that most of them don't even get. Every now and then you get somebody calling you to say that I'm a civil engineer, I'm looking for a job. I'm a civil engineer, I'm looking for a job. I'm this kind of engineer looking for a job. I'm this kind of engineer looking for a job. It's tough. It's tough. It's frustrating. Very much frustrating. So does it worth it? I don't know. You have to decide whether it's worth it or not. The continent needs it. The country needs a lot of engineers, needs a lot of people with technical understanding, technical training, more than the others. That's a fact. But when you finish, are they ready for you? That one, I don't know. And that's where the frustration comes in. And that's why you need something far more than just you looking for a job to eat. Or you throw the engineering somewhere and go and do something. So some of my friends will end up going to do, MBA, going to do law. And some of them, a lot of them will enter into politics. Some of them will start churches, because the production, the engineering discipline, the engineering businesses, the engineering career, they are not ready for us. They're not ready for us. Maybe hopefully from 2020, they will be ready for us. We don't know. So my name is Kwabena. I am saying that that's your engineering degree worth it. The way I see it and the statistics I see it, a lot of my mates, no matter the kind of engineering that they did, a lot of them have shifted from practice as engineers because they did not even have the first field exposure, first technical understanding, training to qualify as competent engineers who do something beyond just design. That is, even if they can design into production. Most of our guys are just, maintenance engineers. They're just there, schedule. They just follow it. If there's a problem, they just look at it because nobody really equipped them. And if they get stuck with one technology, that's it. Even if the technology has improved, they still don't know what to do. So you go out, you look at, they say this is an engineer, look at him, you're not encouraged. So that's worth it. You have to decide. You have to decide because because it's so much pure in terms of technical thinking. Most of them cannot they need a whole infrastructure to work within. Most engineers cannot be independent. What I mean by that is when they finish the engineering degree, they cannot build anything to work with engineering. Most engineers cannot even relate with business, with risk taking. It's like doctors or lawyers or accountants. They need an infrastructure because that's the content of the program. The program prepares you to go and look for Valco to work with, go and look for Nestle to work with. They are not preparing you to go and start Nestle. They are not preparing you to go and start Valco. No, they prepare you to go and take a certain portion of mutuality to work with. So the engineer is not thinking, can I put a company together? That's so far from him. And yet he comes out and these companies are not there, or they can take so much. How many can they take? They can't take to all the thousands that you're producing. So does it worth it? You have to think through. So if you're in university, it's good you have an engineering degree, but you'll be disappointed if you don't prepare. You come out, you'll be so much disappointed. You'll be pained. You struggle. You'll be so much disappointed. So your technical understanding of things will help you if you're able to start a business. If you are not able to start a business, at least add the ability to sell. The ability to sell to your engineering degree. Your ability to sell. Add it to that engineering degree. Because there will not be so many jobs waiting for you as an engineer. That is a fact. That's a fact. Those guys who have taken those jobs, they are not going. They are there. They are changing. The government probably will pick you as a AESL or somewhere. They are changing their date. They are not going. So if you want to practice as an engineer, you may have to add some other skills to it. Look at sales. Look at maybe computer technology. Look at maybe some software development in addition to your mechanical engineering or agricultural engineering or electrical engineering. Look at maybe digital marketing. Look at something. Look at something that people are ready to pay for. Then you can leverage your technical understanding. But with your traditional engineering training, it's going to be very tough for you. It is going to be very tough for you. There are so many engineers looking for a job, they can't find it. And those who find it, there are thousands who are outside looking. So if you are thinking that you finish that and you come and get a big company with modern technology, they say that engineer Kwabena, you have come, like they say it in Nigeria, sit down, and all those. Even the people who are doing petrochemical engineering or something, how many people can we absorb in the oil fields in Ghana? They are bringing a lot of them from their country anyway. So think through. Just be aware. It may not be that gloomy as I'm painting it, but I mean, if I look around, I look at my seniors, you have to have more than just the engineering skill. You have to add more, and you have to have more information about the world around you, just more than the engineering that you're doing. The calculus that you're doing, the Fourier series, the thermodynamics, the heat transfer that you're doing, the structures, the stress and the shear forces that you're calculating. You would need other information. The world has moved from just traditional engineering training. That when you go, somebody with a minimum mechanical engineering exposure who can draw with a computer, who can use the card, will be easily employed than you with a traditional degree who cannot use the computer. So just know the world has moved. There are architects. If you're an architect, for instance, and you cannot use a computer to produce drawings, who would want to take you? That's a fact. Or let's say if you're an accountant and you don't understand how to use all these accounting softwares, it's going to be that much difficult for you. So the leverage you can have, if you so wish to practice as an engineer, get into technology, get into computer, get into software, become so much up to date, then you will stay above your friends, or you'll be pushed to go and look for something far different from your engineering degree. So, and if you can start a business, if you can develop sales skills, it will be so much an advantage to you. Because if you can sell anywhere. If you can convince people to buy into an idea, into a project, you're so much ahead of the others. So learn about digital marketing, learn about technology, learn about things that people are ready to pay for. Sometimes, if you look around, you can see that a lot of things that people are ready to pay for. Let's say you have an agricultural engineering degree, but you come doing the national service? Why don't you go and join a wedding company or something to learn how they are making all this? Because most people, they get jobs every day. They may not be that much educated. They may not be that much deep in terms of calculation. But people are buying their products every day. They have offers that they can meet. What can you do? Maybe you just go and spend 6 months there and learn it and see. If you add it to your course, you'll be gone. You have no idea what you can do with that. So look around, look around. What is it that you can add it to this engineering, so-called engineering degree that you have, which will make you marketable, or you will not be worth it. You will not be worth it. So um, thank you very much for watching. So does it worth it? That one, I think the country needs it. The continent needs a lot of people like you, but they are not prepared for you. They are not. They don't even know that they need you. And so for you not to finish this school and be so much disappointed in yourself and in your family and be so much depressed, add value to yourself. As a matter of fact, the technical exposure, the expansion that they give you is so much important if you find what you are good at and what the market is ready to pay you for. If you find that, your engineering degree will be worth it. So thank you very much. If you don't find that, you'll be frustrated. That one I can guarantee you 100%. You'll be so much disappointed in yourself because your brain in school, you think that your brain in school is worth anything. When you come out, your brain, nobody cares about how your certificate that you have. That's a fact. It's only maybe you want to go and teach in the university that they will look at your certificate. Apart from that, nobody really cares. What they care is, can you solve the problems? They give you the job, can you do it? They give you the drawings, can you interpret it? Can you can you construct that building? An engineer, can you? Do you have the practical skill that they're ready to pay you for? Those are the things that, can you solve industrial problems? Can you solve, a lot of businesses have problems. Can you solve them? Your skill. That is where maybe then your engineering degree starts to make sense to you. So thank you very much for watching.